If you watch virtually any Kaizo Super Mario World on Twitch or YouTube, you'll eventually hear the person playing say the word regrab. Without context, this sounds like they must be talking about picking something up, but it's actually a pretty deep platforming mechanic unique to Super Mario World. Here's how it works. If Mario is standing on the ground and we press the B button, he'll jump. If we press the A button, he'll spin jump. If we hold either of those buttons the entire time Mario is airborne until he starts falling, we'll reach a maximum height jump. Simple enough, right? However, if we release the jump button at any point during Mario's jump, he'll begin to fall from wherever he was in his jump instead of reaching the absolute max height. This is part 1 of the mechanic, releasing jump so that Mario doesn't reach his maximum height. Part 2 of the mechanic is that Mario's fall speed varies depending on whether or not the jump button is being held while he's falling. Not holding jump while falling makes him fall quickly, while holding jump makes him fall more slowly. The speed difference isn't so drastic that you'd be able to tell at a glance, but it means that if Mario reaches his max height, then we release the jump button. He'll hit the ground more quickly than if we had held jump the entire time. If we combine these two traits of Mario's jumps, which is to say that we release the jump button before Mario reaches the max height of his jump, then immediately press and hold the jump button again after cutting his jump, we achieve a jump that doesn't get as much height, but does get much more potential distance. Hence, regrabbing is the act of pressing the jump button a second time after cutting Mario's jump off at a desired height. Since we can release jump and regrab the jump button any number of times before Mario hits the ground, another way of thinking about it is micromanaging our jump's height and fall speed in order to achieve a desired distance. Let's look at some practical applications. Avoiding a spike ceiling when a full height jump would kill Mario. Jumping across a wide gap with a low ceiling. Platforming precisely against a tight timer. The more accurately we micromanage Mario's jumps and fall speeds, the more time we can shave off in sections like these. Micromanaging height for precise shell jumps, and my personal favorite, bouncing across enemies and obstacles. This last example is the hardest for beginners to catch on to, but this is still an application of regrabbing. If we're holding jump when we land on most enemies and many obstacles, Mario will get a big bounce. If we're not holding jump, we'll get a really tiny bounce instead. If, however, there is an obstacle above our head that we don't want to hit with a full jump, but we still need to get across a greater distance than a tiny bounce allows for, we can actually regrab here too. In this application, we land on the enemy without holding jump, but immediately after landing on the enemy, regrab the jump button. This will make it so that Mario still gets the height that we would have gotten from the tiny bounce, but with the added benefit of the slower fall speed granted by holding the jump button. This allows us to maneuver through tight spaces, but also lets us land on enemies and obstacles in rapid succession. This mechanic gives Super Mario World a unique feel to its platforming that almost no other platformer has, which is why